watch this pitch review webinar live. It is great to be speaking with you all about your sales pitches and how you can have the best possible sales pitch for your offer for your business. And that's what we're going to work on today. It's going to be a really actionable, practical session. So whether you are dialing in, whether you are a regular attendee and you've joined one of my other live streams, it's always a good exercise, right, to score your pitch and to get in the habit of asking yourself, is your pitch really delivering the results and the value that you want, right? So this is our aim today. I'm your host and presenter, Camilla Haisler. So I am a seven-figure seller with over 15 years in sales. And I'm super excited to be live with you today. Again, everything I do is live and in person and virtual, right? I've taught thousands of people virtually on the Clubhouse app and also today via YouTube and Instagram and other channels as well. So I'm super excited to be sharing this with you because I truly believe that where you can, right, where you can take steps to improve something. And again, this session is completely free. So make the most of it. Go really all out in this session. If you're joining on catch up, if you're joining live, right, again, there's always a great moment for you to refine your sales pitch, right? So again, I gave a quick intro as to why I believe in the sales pitch. I've delivered hundreds of pitches. Like I say, I've also been nominated for Influential Businesswoman 2 times, right? So again, I deliver pitches. I've given keynotes and talks and all sorts of material, right? So again, that's why I believe that I'm a great right coach and mentor for you in this subject because I've learned through practical application on pitches. So this is not a theory session. So first of all, I want to set the ground rules, right? So I have for you today your resource. So we're going to be scoring, right? So a naught is not true. You don't think the statement applies to you at all. If you are giving yourself a 1, then you believe that the statement is sometimes true. If the statement is sometimes true, right, then what you are ultimately saying is that at times your pitch might be inconsistent. If it's consistently true, then you're going to score yourself with a 2. Okay, so those are the only scores that you need to be aware of. Okay, so every question that we're going to ask you, give yourself a naught, a 1, or a 2, and I'm going to give you the worksheet as well in just 1 second, right? Firstly, I want to say what we're looking at here, and I want to create some context around why this is important, because your offer can always be compressed, right? The offer compression is really how clearly your pitch is landing with any audience without over explanation and without them having any technical knowledge, without them having previous experience of your industry, your expertise, your industry, and anything else, right? Again, this is about offer compression because today in this market, right, attention is short. And because attention is so short, it's absolutely crucial that we make the most of it in our sales pitch and in our pitch, whether it's a pitch for people to work with us, pitch for people to invest, or a pitch as to something we're creating, right? Maybe we just want to enroll other people in our idea. Okay, so that is what we're doing. So this is the first question, right? So before we dive into this, I want to say if you would like the worksheet, right? If you would like to get the worksheet for this session, I do have the link for you to get this, right? So if you are joining live and you simply want to have the worksheet, let me just post this for you, right? So just to make sure that you've got the worksheet, right? So again, this is super critical and super important for you to refine and to master. Okay, so I want to make sure that you get this and that you get this information, and that's why I've designed this worksheet to go along with this session, right? So I'm going to give you the worksheet. I'm going to post it in the chat on this live on YouTube. And for those who are joining on Instagram, right, you can ping me. So I've just put the link in to this stream, right? So I'm not necessarily liking the look of that link. So let me just recheck, right, that that this is the best link. So 1 second. Okay, let me just add this in because I really want you to follow along, right? So this is your link. If you're joining on Instagram, I'm going to add this link specifically to my bio on Instagram as well. So you could just go to my bio and you will find the link right there as well. So let's just make sure that everybody's got the link and everybody's on the same page as well in terms of, right, this resource. So I'm just adding, sorry, that's the 2 seconds. All right, let's get this done because it's always good, right? It's always important for everyone to be on the same page and to be able to follow along. Cool. Okay. So that's done. So I've added the link. So if you're watching on Catch Up on Instagram, you can get the link. It is live, one of the links in my Instagram profile. And if you're watching on YouTube, again, I'll just label this, right, as the worksheet link. Okay, perfect. So here's what I want everyone to do, right? I want everyone to open up that worksheet and I want you to pull out, right? Just pull out just go to the first question, which is the first impression and the certainty that people have around your pitch, okay? So this is absolutely crucial, okay? Because after hearing your first sentence, you want your pitch to really land really, really well. So like I said, this is about compressing your pitch. So if you can explain what you do in just one sentence, then your offer is compressed. If number two, you do not need to justify or expand on your pitch, right? If people don't say, oh, I just have one more follow-up question on what you just shared, right? If people immediately get it, if people understand without follow-ups, the outcome is obvious to the buyer. So I just want you to give just one score for this question. So it's either 0, a 1, or a 2, right? 0, 1, or 2. Okay, perfect. So now, then we're going to move on to the second question. So we're going to move quite fast on this as well, right? So the next one is decision load. So this is related to your pitch is creating a decision, whether you like it or not, whether you're comfortable with it or not, right? Your pitch is inviting someone else to take a decision to work with you and buy from you. And so if your pitch, sorry, makes the decision feel simple and it makes it feel comfortable, right? Then you have mastered decision load and it is decision stable. If your buyer doesn't need to ask any follow-up questions, if hearing your pitch just reduces any confusion that the buyer might have, right? If that is what's happening, then your pitch is decision ready, right? So again, what we're doing now is we're saying, is your pitch helping people to take a decision or not? So these are the critical elements of your pitch. So I don't want you to worry, right, exactly on the meaning of everything. But essentially, your pitch is about inviting a decision. By the end of your pitch, if it's working really well, you want your buyer to be ready to move ahead and say yes to you. Okay, that is the aim of it. So again, score 0, 1, or 2. Next one, right? This is all about the confidence that you deliver on your pitch. Do you deliver a pitch where when the pressure is on, right, where the stakes are high and you literally are able to just have that confidence, that belief in what you do? If you know that you deliver this and that this is the result you bring, then I want you to look at the answers on this page, right? So again, let's remember, right? We're scoring here and we're trying to get closer to if our pitch is decision ready or not. So your confidence as you deliver your pitch is a crucial element, because if you're really confident as you deliver your pitch, then you can essentially influence your buyer, and that's what we're looking to help you to do, to influence your buyer. Right? So next, we're going to focus on a real world use case. Okay, so on a real world use case, your clarity is being used if, and that's the question, right? Your clarity in your messaging is being used if, right? If you say the same core message every single time. Do you repeat the same core message? When you pitch, is it consistent? Is what this means, right? This really means when if I were to hear your pitch tomorrow or today, would it be the same at the core? Does your pitch sound natural? Does it sound strong, right? Does your pitch sound natural and strong? This is important as well. The next point or sub point to this question, okay, and if all of these apply, right, or if even just one of them applies, do you rewrite? Do you feel like rewriting your pitch after just one call? That is, again, that is a sure fire sign, right? If you do not rewrite your pitch, if you trust your words under pressure, if you've been under pressure, if you've pitched to various people and you've achieved the result you wanted, then your pitch is strong. Okay, so next I want you to add up the scores so far. Okay, so a 0 to 8, your offer is not necessarily locked in, and your pitch is okay, it's on the way. Maybe you're still guessing a bit, maybe you're still on the fly, and many people are doing this as well. So I want to say that it's absolutely natural and fine if you're currently in that point, right, where you are slightly guessing, right? If you're guessing, if your offer is not locked in and you're guessing, then that is a 0 to 8. If you're between 9 and 14 on your score, then your offer is close to being ready, but it's not necessarily stable under pressure, right? So the readiness and the stability of the pitch is not quite there. Okay, so that is important as well. And number 15 to 20, right? Your score is higher. Okay, and this is right, this is as we go along, but this is to give you a sense of where we're going with this, right? If you get a 15 to a 20 score, then your offer is clear, which is great, but it's not consistently activated. Okay, which means, what does that mean? Well, it means that people are not necessarily taking action, right? Which is an important aspect of your pitch. You want people to be ready to take action, not just to be right, not just to be kind of following along. Okay. So perfect. So excellent, excellent. So let's keep going, right? So where currently today, if I were to ask you, where does the clarity break in your pitch? So I want you just to pick one of these. So you can pick explaining. Okay. You can also pick as an option, right? Um, right, you can pick decision moments. Does it change in the decision moment? Which means it changes in the decision moment, right? Your clarity is a little bit lost. Maybe you repeat yourself, or maybe your buyer's like, sorry, I'm not quite clear on that, right? In the decision moment when they're actually choosing. Next, repetition and consistency. Maybe is it the case that your clarity is sometimes when you repeat, when you're asked to repeat, your pitch actually it breaks down. It gets less clear and it leads to some uncomfortable moments in your pitch. And again, that's absolutely fine if that's happening now. Next, handling resistance, right? So handling resistance and where your clarity breaks down. If your clarity breaks down, right, when you're handling resistance, that is a sign that again, there's something to change. So why what this score is actually telling you, right? It's not about a low score, a mid score, a high score, right? Let's not get into kind of a a feeling that metrics are, it's a negative, right? A low score means essentially that you might be guessing sometimes. A mid score means there's some inconsistency, but it's fixable, right? And a high score means there's clarity, but there isn't enough activation. So that is how, right? That is how your current pitch is. But here's the thing, if you know that when you need a reliable and essentially buyer ready pitch that it is breaking, then the next step should be obvious, right? It is about fixing the decision gaps that are in your message, right? So if the decision gaps are present, then it's about the clarity under pressure, right? So if there is clarity under pressure, which is creating decisions, I want to say, right, the the decision that you're creating is where your pitch focus needs to be, right? What's the decision? What's the clarity? And how can you improve and raise that, right? Again, there is something I teach on this. So now I'm going to teach you something really, really quick and actionable. So you can put your worksheets down for a minute and you can just listen and just absorb and learn and understand this, right? So what you're looking to do is to master the very first 5 seconds of your pitch. So you want to win attention and close more sales, right? So that